Hey YouTubians, it's Tony here from We Try Anything. The channel likes try anything, so you don't have to. Now, as you can see behind me, I have a picture of the Casio CA-53 Calculator digital watch. Now, why are you asking? Well, you're probably watching this in March when I've uploaded this video, and this is a watch I've been wearing over the month of February. Now, why am I doing a video about a watch I'm wearing over in the month of February? Well, if you're not a subscriber or you haven't watched any of the other videos that I've done on the channel, then nice to meet you, and don't forget to subscribe if you are interested in some of the content that I do produce. But what I decided to do early this year is, as opposed to having loads of watches that I've got just sitting in a watch box somewhere gathering dust, I thought, well, why don't I wear them on a monthly basis but daily drive them? And these will be watches mainly from Casio, I'll be honest with you, because I do love the Casio brand. These will be watches that may be too big for my wrist, so I'll be explaining what it's like to wear on a 6.5 inch wrist, or just watches I haven't worn for quite a while, or haven't worn since the review that I've done of these watches. Now, what I tend to do for the reviews, I wear them over a couple of days, and then I kind of build in what my thoughts are for the review. But what I thought I'd do is wear certain watches over a period of time this year. Now, last year I did a video which explained what watches are worn over 2023, and that's what's inspired this video really. So I thought I'll do it over the months and I'll give you my impressions of these watches. Now, in this instance, it is the Casio CA-53 for February. Now, what you can see is a bit of paper, and obviously here's the watch here. Now, the bit of paper's got a few thoughts and notes. I thought, as opposed to writing a script or going off on a tangent, I thought I'd just quickly go through what my thoughts are wearing this watch. So, first of all, and the biggest plus I have found with the Casio CA-53, it is so comfortable to wear. And it's probably one of the most, other than say the smaller watches I do wear from time to time, which is the W86, the F91, the F105, they are very comfortable watches. But this just eclipses them in terms of comfort and daily wear really. You just don't notice it on your wrist. There's no hand inhibitions, there's nothing like that at all. I mean, with it having a flat profile, it's just a watch that just sits on your wrist really nice. And the sizes which I'm just showing you here, it's a watch that should fit a lot of wrists, no problem. And obviously with its shape as well, and there's not much extruding or pointing out or anything that would poke into your wrist or on your hand or anything like that. It's just a great watch to wear, really is. And also I found with some of the watches that I have reviewed and worn over time, I do find that with a 6.5 inch wrist that I've got, that sometimes they do either be too tight on the wrist or too loose. With this one, it's always been a perfect watch to wear. It really has been a great watch to wear. And in the reviews that I've done, I'm just quickly pointing to the review that I've done on this watch, I have had comments to say that this is a super comfortable watch to wear. So it's not just me that thinks that. There is a few people who do think that as well. So yeah, if you are looking for a comfortable watch, then this is the one for you. And as I say, over the 29 days that I have worn this watch, it's been a watch that I've really enjoyed wearing. Now, the retro. It is a watch that does have retro appeal. Now, it is a watch that's been brought out in, I believe, around the 1988 mark. That's what I'm just kind of got in the back of my head. So it does have that fantastic 80s retro appeal. Now, obviously, when I was an 80s kid, it was a watch I looked in the Argos catalogues and always wanted something like that, because it's a calculator on your wrist. My god, that was a big thing then. And obviously nowadays, where you've got your smartwatches with heartbeat meters, a satellite, this, that and the other, does navigation, this sort of technology is going to be lost on a lot of people in 2024. But in the 80s, big deal, real big deal, having a calculator watch. So it's got a lot of a retro nostalgic appeal for me, this watch has. And also, it's a watch that has featured in a couple of movies. Now, two to mention is Back to the Future 2 and Back to the Future 3, where Marty McFly did wear this very watch, the CA-53. So if you want a watch that's appeared in a few movies, then get yourself a CA-53. It definitely has that nice little bit of fame to it as well. Now, as I say, retro appeal wise, it is a nice looking watch as well. And it's a watch, obviously, it's got a lot of, it's basically function over form really. So with it having the keypad taking up most of the frontage of this watch, what you will notice is that the displays, it's not the biggest really, and that is a little bit of a minus to this watch. You might find if you tend to wear glasses like me, or these are varifocals, that you got to make sure you're wearing your glasses just to get an idea of the time, and you do have to not straight away look at a watch. I mean, I'm currently wearing March's watch on my wrist, so I may have given the game away already, but I did find that sometimes I just had to look at it for another second or like another millisecond or so just to get an idea of the time. So while it's function over form to me, it does work well when it is on the wrist, and that display is clear. There's free of obstruction, free of lines or any kind of graphics or anything like that. It is clear in terms of reading the time, but because it's quite small on the wrist, if you have got deteriorating eyesight like me and you haven't got your glasses on, you might find it a bit hard. So I just make you aware of that fact, because I did find it hard. Now, the other thing to mention about this watch while I'm talking about the display, this has zero backlight. There's no backlight built into this watch, and with it having such a kind of a smallish display, and obviously if you want to read the time in darkness and semi-darkness, like I was trying to read the time the other night and I just couldn't read it. I had to rely on my smartphone, and obviously if you in small hours of the night, obviously lights up the room, you wake up your other half. It's not good really, because she thinks you're on your phone. But yeah, with it not having a backlight, I did find it a little bit of a chore really to find out the time on this watch. So again, if you're looking for a watch you want to read at night, it's not for you really. But it is an affordable Casio, and with that you do get a lot of features. So price wise, you are looking at Amazon, it's £27. Argos, I've noted it at 35. Now it's a bit rare this, but Argos is more expensive than Amazon on this, and I would get it from Amazon. I mean, I've got an affiliate link below, but if it was cheaper on Argos, I'd tell you to get it from Argos. But Amazon, £27, you get a lot of watch for your money really. You get a stopwatch that goes up to 24 hours, believe it or not, which is really good for a watch of this type. You also get a daily alarm that you can do. It does what would be dual time as well, so if you are communicating with loved ones or business associates around the other side of the world, you can set a separate time different to what would be your main home time on this watch. So good for people who do a bit of world traveling as well. Great. And also it's got that calculator, which is 8 digits. Sorry, I can't believe I forgot the calculator. It's just on the watch. It's got 8-digit calculators, so you can perform certain calculations which might just help you in that instance when you haven't got your smartwatch or anything. Now, as I mentioned, reading the screen, it's a bit small, but the other minus with this watch, it's just water resistant. So I found that I took it off when I was washing up, or I found when I was washing the car, I took it off so I didn't put a watch on. And yeah, a bit of a bind really. I mean, would I go into a shower or have a bath with this? Personally, I wouldn't, because I like the watch to have like a measurement to the water resistance in terms of bar. Now, I know some YouTubers and some people like that say it's got 30 meters, even though it doesn't mention it. I'd rather err on the side of caution and say, if I'm near water or I'm going to do anything that involves water, I'll take it off. So if that's a kind of a negative for you or a deal breaker, then probably look somewhere else really in terms of your watch purchase. But it's a watch that it does have water resistant or splash resistant, but there's no kind of meterage in terms, or they don't mention any meterage in terms of how far this watch will resist water really. And really, that's it, to be honest. That's my thoughts. I mean, it's a super comfortable watch to wear. I didn't have a problem with it on my wrist. It didn't inhibit any form of actions that I was doing that involved my hands or anything like that. So for that instance, yeah, it's a great watch to wear. It's got that added retro appeal with it being an 80s watch that was released late 80s. It's a watch that's appeared on movies, and it's a watch that's got a whole host of functions. So in my 29 days with wearing this watch, would I say it's a great watch to buy? I'm going to say it depends on what you want with your watch. Now, if you want a retro watch that you can add to the collection that just has great retro appeal, it's nostalgic, and it does have that calculator function as well, then yeah, go ahead and buy it. It's a great watch, and when you put it on your wrist, you'll realize how comfortable a watch can be. But we're in 2024 now, and obviously you've got smartphones, built-in calculator, which have got calculators which are easy to use. then it kind of negates the function on this watch. So you've got to think, for your money, do you want to watch that's a retro watch, or do you want to watch that just tells you the time? Which for me is what I prefer, really. I mean, a lot of the functions I didn't use, and it will be the kind of theme throughout the year. There's a lot of watches I'm going to wear throughout this year where the functions are a little bit lost to me, because I just like a watch to tell me the time and the date. And I don't know if I've mentioned, the one other thing to mention about this watch is it will show you the day of the week on the main timekeeping mode, but you do have to press the button, just the top right hand button, just to give you an idea of the date. Now for you it might not be a big thing, but for me, I just like to be able to glance at my watch and get an idea of the date within the month, because I run another business as well, and I like to know where I am within the month as well as within the week. So while it tells me where I am within the week, it doesn't tell me where I am within the month unless I press that top right hand button. Again, just a small gripe, but for me, I like a watch just to feature on the main time. And I'm the same with analog watches. I like a date complication. So overall, again, I'll just quickly say, this watch, it just depends on what you want from a watch, and that's what you're going to think of. It's got no backlight, so if you want to watch with backlight, then not the one for you, really. But if you want to watch this retro inspired, or very retro, unique in terms of what it can do, and looks, it does look great, I've got to admit, it really does look great, then this watch does get a thumbs up. But you've got to consider what you want from your watch before you buy something like this. That's all I'd say. So I am currently wearing March's watch on my wrist now, and obviously towards the end of March or early April, I will give you an idea of the watch that I've worn and my thoughts of it. Well, I hope this video of what it's been like to wear the CA-53 Casio Calculator Watch over the last 29 days has been like. And if it has helped you in any way, then please give it a thumbs up, always helps the channel. If you want to see more videos from the We Try Anything channel, then click on the subscription button below. And thank you for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye.